Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Irie from On the Hot Podcast. Today I have some bonus content for you guys. The bonus content will be regarding in the sport of boxing. If you guys haven't checked that, episode 90 is now available on all four of our platforms: our Instagram account, our Facebook account, our YouTube account, and our Apple Podcast account. So let's go ahead and dive into the bonus content I have for you guys today, which I'll be sharing my fight prediction for this weekend's fight between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. The two guys will finally meet in the ring this Sunday, which I'll get into in a few moments. But before I get any deeper into this video, it's time for the world to acknowledge Jake Paul and give him credit for what he's doing in the sport. He's bringing more eyes to the sport that needs a lot of attention right now when you compare and contrast of what's going on in the one sport of boxing and the other sport of UFC. UFC is getting more attention right now as we speak right now. Boxing is heading into a direction it should not be going into, regardless of the several reasons. Big fights not being big fights not being made. Jake Paul is the one that's saving the sport, evidently. He's bringing his own clout, his own social media followers into the sport, bringing new eyes to the sport, making it an interesting. He's one of the interesting figures in the sport today. He's making headlines about the fights that no matter who he's getting in the ring with, he can get in the ring with me and it's still going to be a headline the following day, the following weekend, for a month straight because of how much attention he's bringing to the sport. The sport is never talked about on the big time shows of a First Take. Guys and analysts that I admire and look up to, like Stephen A. Smith, are talking about him on First Take, comparing and contrasting for a fight prediction, bringing those guys on. The sport of boxing doesn't get talked about as much as it should on these mainstream sports shows, and these sports analysts don't cover it. But when Jake Paul is in the ring, when Jake Paul is getting ready to go, the analysts want to jump the gun and talk about the sport because of this guy, Jake Paul. So he deserves a lot of credit for bringing a lot of credibility to this sport. But back to him and back to Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. This fight is 2 years in the making, and this third time, I guess third time is the charm because this fight was supposed to happen in a matter of 2 times, and they were canceled on two separate occasions. If you guys remember in late 2021 when Jake Paul was supposed to fight Tommy Fury, after Jake Paul defeated Tyron Woodley the first time by decision, winning the first time him and Woodley got in the ring. Tommy Fury pulled out of the fight due to an injury, and therefore that is the reason why we got Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley Part 2. And we all know what happened to Tyron Woodley after that. And then the second time this fight was supposed to happen was supposed to be in late August. This fight was actually supposed to take place at Madison Square Garden. And unfortunately, due to the fact that the Fury family, Tommy Fury, John Fury, and Tyson Fury, for several reasons, can not come to the United States, that fight was canceled and did not happen. So the third time is the charm. So hopefully we will see what happens this time around when these guys finally get in the ring. It's been 2 years in the making. So Jake Paul is coming into this fight after his biggest win to date, beating UFC legend Anderson Silva by unanimous decision in the 8th round in his fight in October. When you look at Tommy Fury, after he started his fighting career in 2018 and has won all of his 8 first pro fights in his boxing career. So I find it really cool that both of these fighters are coming in with something to gain moving forward long term in the sport of boxing. The winner of this fight will actually receive an official WBC world ranking and the WBC the WBC championship contenders list in that respective unit in boxing. The WBC is the most credible in the sport of boxing. When you talk about the WBC World Championship, and no matter what weight class, that's the most prestigious title to win in the sport. And no matter if it's going to be 1 through 40, I'm hearing speculation that if Jake Paul is the winner, he's going to be in the top 15. I think that's overrated at this point in his career. But no matter where these guys are ranked, it's something very cool for these guys to look forward to moving forward in their respective careers. To me, this should be an interesting fight. Jake Paul is coming into this fight with everything to gain but nothing to lose. If Jake Paul gets embarrassed and knocked out by Tommy Fury, he has everything to fall back on. He can keep calling out these older MMA guys. He can keep fighting, trying to pick and choose fights with YouTubers. He can continue to make YouTube content. And he has his own. He has his own sports podcast. Better. It's a better app. He has everything to fall on. He has everything to gain, but nothing to lose. If he wants to walk away from the sport of boxing, if he loses this fight on Sunday to Tommy Fury, he has everything to gain, nothing to lose. But when you look at Tommy Fury, on the other hand, he's in a must-win situation due to the fact that John Fury, his father, and Tyson Fury, his older brother, who is the WBC World Heavyweight Champion of the world, has stated that they will make sure that Tommy Fury never steps into a boxing ring ever again. They'll make sure that he is no longer having the last name of Fury, and they're just going to disown him. So it looks like that Jake Paul has everything to gain, nothing to lose. When you look at Tommy Fury, it's vice versa. So I think it's funny that the circumstances are coming into this fight, even though these guys are young in their careers. Tommy Fury into this fight, I think he is the one that's not taking the sport taking the sport seriously. I think he's taking the sport lightly. Due to the fact that he's been in and out of the ring, he has on several occasions failed to make weight in fights and big time fights that he was supposed to be a part of. If you guys didn't know, his fight when he was on the card, I believe in November, December, of Floyd Mayweather's exhibition card, he was supposed to be in a big time fight, and that fight didn't get made because he missed weight by a total of 8 to 9 pounds, and it got moved into an exhibition fight. Even prolonging this fight even more to happen, for Jake Paul and Tommy Fury to happen afterwards. Everybody's seen the clip of John Fury taking his shirt off, calling out Jake Paul to the ring. That just goes to show that Tommy Fury really doesn't take this sport as serious. And meanwhile, I believe that this is the reason why Jake Paul is the favorite for this fight. He's the more active boxer, and that's crazy to say when you talk about someone who has the last name of a Fury and that boxing family, the boxing bloodline in that family. When you have the last name of Fury, but Jake Paul has been the more active boxer. He's using more resources to get better each time he gets into the ring. I see a slight amount of improvement every time I see him fight. Has a lot of tweaks for him to work on moving forward, but I see him making the effort, making the progress to get better each time he's in there. He takes the sport more serious than Tommy Fury. Obviously, for those reasons, I do believe that Jake Paul is the favorite to win this fight. So with that being said, I believe in this fight prediction. It should be entertaining. It should be very interesting. But with that being said, I'm putting my undefeated streak on the line. If you guys have followed every fight prediction that I've said, I have not gotten one wrong yet ever since I started the podcast. So I'm putting that streak on the line. I'm going with Jake Paul to win this fight by TKO in the 7th round. With that being said, I think the longer the fight goes on, the more it favors Jake Paul. Cardio will be on the side of Jake Paul as well. Tommy Fury has never been in a fight that is scheduled to take place this long in a total of 8 rounds. If you guys have been noticed, Tommy Fury has been truly protected by his father, John Fury, ever since he's made his pro boxing debut. For the fact that he has only been in a fight that's only gone to at least 6 rounds, only went the distance one time in a matter of 6 rounds. We do the math on it. That's only a total of 24 minutes expected from you to be in a boxing ring. So I need to see more of that moving forward. However, and the other reason why I do believe that the fight favors Jake Paul more is because Tommy Fury does not have that big time fight experience. He's never been in a main event of a pro boxing card. And you look at his opponents combined and what Tommy Fury has been in the ring with, a total of all 8 fighters have a combined record in their respective win-loss records in their careers of 14 wins and 175 losses. So that should tell you how much Tommy Fury has been protected by his father. That should show you that he doesn't have the big-time elements of being in a big-time fight. I don't care if Jake Paul never fought a boxer before. Anderson Silva is one of the greatest strikers in combat sports history. Tyron Woodley is a 5-time UFC champion. He might not have got it done with his hands, winning those championships with his wrestling background, but he's still been in the game and is a trained combat athlete when it's all said and done. You could bring that, whether you do in the UFC striking ability, you could bring that to boxing also. And he has UFC knockouts as well. So when you think about it, it's funny to say that, but I think Jake Paul has been in more bigger pressure moments, more big time fights than Tommy Fury. So that's another reason why I do believe that Jake Paul will win this fight. However, there is a catch to this, and this fight can go 2 ways. and go the way of I just said that I do believe which will happen. Jake Paul will win by the seventh round in the seventh round by TKO or referee stoppage. I do believe that John Fury may get involved and throw in the white towel for Tommy Fury. However, Jake Paul is going to have to weather the storm and be patient in this fight. Tommy Fury, and the tape that I've watched him and the times that I've watched him box, he unloads his gas tank very early in fights, which will be in the first or second round. He's going to give everything that he has to offer, everything to throw in the kitchen sink at Jake Paul. Whether it's coming at him with vicious combination strikes, whether he's trying to get him out there in the first or second round, which he's stating that he's going to get him out in the first or second round. I'm not going to go past the fourth. So Jake Paul's going to have to stay very patient. I believe he's going to be down the scorecard all the way up until the third round because Tommy Fury is just going to try to go out for the knockout. And he's going to be up early on the scorecard. But if Jake Paul can weather the storm and be patient and sit back and be calm and collected, he's going to have to take punishment in this fight. It's going to happen. I think he's going to win this fight because cardio is on the side of Jake Paul, and he's going to display his boxing abilities. Like I just said, I see him step up every time I've seen him in the ring. I've seen him overcome that adversity. We nearly got knocked out of the ring in 2021 the first time he fought Tyron Woodley. He got back up and finished the fight and was connecting with a lot of combination strikes. And then later on in that year, 2021, he had the knockout of the year when he laid out Tyron Woodley flat cold with that right-hand hook that connected. And then in that fight with Anderson Silva, I'm seeing him connect with some jabs. He like I said, he has some work to do, but I've seen him connect with jabs. I've seen him connect with some good combination strikes to the body and to the head, and which the combination strike that dropped Anderson Silva in that fight. So I think Jake Paul's going to show his boxing abilities as the later the rounds go on, but he just has to weather the storm moving forward in that fight. But before I end this video, moving forward, what Jake Paul has to do if he wants to take this sport to another level, like I said earlier in the video, if he's victorious, he will be ranked by the WBC in the cruiserweight division, and that's huge for him. That's a huge accomplishment early in his boxing career. However, if you want to one day become a world champion, it's time for you to stop playing games and continue to pursue pro boxers like you're fighting Tommy Fury right now. I don't want to hear you fight Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz has nothing to offer as an ex-UFC employee. Whether you get in the octagon with him or whether you get in the boxing ring, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear you get in the ring with KSI. As good as it sounds for YouTube fans, their social media following, it's nothing. It's nothing beneficial out of that. If he's going to take the sport serious, he needs to fight contenders in the WBC. He needs to fight pro boxers so he can set him up in contention for a world title opportunity down the line. But that is my fight prediction, and that's how I feel about Jake Paul moving forward in his career. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Irie, signing off, and I'll see you guys on next week's episode.